Notre Dame at Ohio State is one of the top games for week 1 of the 2022 college football season. Let's dive into the key storylines, the matchups to watch, and which team will come out on top on Saturday night. I'm Stephen Lassen of All CFB 365. Please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're going to have great college football coverage all year. And be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at All CFB 365. Before we dive into the matchup on Saturday night, let's take a look at a couple key storylines for the Fighting Irish and the Buckeyes as we enter this week 1 matchup. It's a battle of top 10 teams. The Associated Press poll has Notre Dame at number 5. Ohio State is number 2. With the pageantry, the history, the uniforms of both of these teams, it should be a great setting in Columbus for these two programs to meet. Also, Notre Dame coach Marcus Freeman is making his debut in his first full season. He coached in the Fiesta Bowl, and Notre Dame lost that game 37-35. Of course, Marcus Freeman, he replaces Brian Kelly, is returning to his alma mater. He played linebacker at Ohio State from 2004 to 2008. It will be interesting to see what he can do with this program over the next couple years. Brian Kelly did a great job of getting Notre Dame back on track, getting it into the college football playoff, but it will be interesting to see if Freeman can elevate Notre Dame over the next couple years. The third storyline as we enter this season, it is a revenge tour kind of year for the Buckeyes. 11-2 last year, which is a good year for most programs, but the Buckeyes lost to Michigan and did not win the Big Ten title. So in some regards, it was a disappointing year for Ohio State. Obviously, getting back on track and getting to the college football playoff is the expectation. When Notre Dame has the ball, all eyes are going to be on quarterback Tyler Buchner. It's his first start at Notre Dame. He played in 10 games last year as a true freshman, attempted 35 passes, but never attempted more than 14 in a game, and this is his first career start. Making it on the road in Columbus is certainly not going to be easy. He showed a lot of potential as a runner last year, and that could come in handy against Ohio State. Buchner ran for 336 yards last season, which plays into what Notre Dame may have to do on Saturday night. Considering the firepower on Ohio State's offense, Notre Dame is probably going to have to find ways to slow down the game, limit the possessions by Ohio State. So Buchner's rushing ability really plays into the strength of Notre Dame's offense, which is that offensive line. There is one injury concern for Notre Dame's offensive line, and that is a guard/center. Jarrett Patterson is questionable. All signs suggest that he will be a game time decision, and that is an injury to monitor. Notre Dame's backfield, even though it lost Kyron Williams to the NFL, is still in good shape. Chris Tyree, Logan Diggs gives the Fighting Irish a couple different running backs that they can test Ohio State's defense with. Another factor to watch here is the Notre Dame receiving corps. When we talk about Tyler Buchner and his potential on the ground, this is a Notre Dame group of receivers that has something to prove this year. It already lost Avery Davis in the preseason due to a torn ACL. Michael Mayer is one of the best tight ends in college football, but Buchner's going to need some other playmakers to step up. Ohio State's defense is fascinating because last year they gave up 7.2 yards per carry in the 2 games that they lost. Of course, there is a new defensive coordinator in Jim Knowles. A lot of talent on this Ohio State defense. Talent and production is probably not going to be an issue for this group this year. I expect this Ohio State defense to be better, but we will get a much better glimpse of Ohio State's defense on Saturday night, especially at the line of scrimmage, which is key for the Buckeyes to win. It's no secret that Ohio State's offense is one of the best in college football. They averaged 45.7 points a game last season. Bring back one of the top offensive lines, not to mention CJ Stroud at quarterback, Jackson Smith and Jigba at receiver. So the Buckeyes are capable of putting up points in a hurry. A question coming into this game, it's not really a question mark, but I think it's something to watch, is which playmakers around CJ Stroud step up. With Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson off to the NFL, new receivers like Marvin Harrison Jr., Julian Fleming, and others will be forced to step up. The Buckeyes have talent here. I'm interested to see which players break out on Saturday night. Also, how fast can Ryan Day get this offense on track? It's the first game of the year. You have some new pieces stepping in. It will be interesting to see if Ohio State fires on all cylinders right away on Saturday night. For Notre Dame to slow down Ohio State, I think it comes down to one thing. It's the play in the trenches. The Fighting Irish really need a big game from Isaiah Foskey and the others up front along the line of scrimmage. Last year, Notre Dame had 41 sacks. If they can pressure CJ Stroud and get in his face and slow down this Ohio State passing game, that's the best path for Notre Dame to win. If CJ Stroud has all day to throw, he will likely pick apart Notre Dame's cornerbacks on Saturday night. Now that we've dived into the keys for Notre Dame and Ohio State, it's time to make a prediction. Ohio State opened up as a 13.5-point favorite. That line has climbed to 17 points. The Buckeyes are over a 2-touchdown favorite for Saturday night. The over-under sits about 59. If you look at the sports books and project what a potential score might be, it puts it around 38-21. ESPN's SP Plus likes it 35-23. We at the staff at All CFB 365 like it a little higher. We like Ohio State to win 41-20 on Saturday night. I'm Steven Lasson of All CFB 365. Please be sure to subscribe. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at All CFB 365, and stay tuned for more great college football coverage as we start the 2022 season.